And now, did you find the experience to be sort of interesting, or have you done motion capture in any other games?
No, this is my first mocap experience.
And were there any mishaps, like, I would say bloopers that sort of happened during the experience?
Oh, I'm sure. The thing is, we get asked this stuff a lot, and I mean, the general mood was one of such great levity. We've certainly worked very hard, but I mean, there were so many moments of things happening, or people saying things accidentally, or but they're so fleeting, and to recall any specifically now, of course, when I ask the brain or sort of freezes and can't think of any particular instance. Yeah, I mean, even on sets these days, it's so different. It's all shot on HD, and I think it's cheaper now for them to collect outtakes if they want to. In the old days, unless the take was printed in the lab, it wasn't going to see the light of day again. But we just had such fun every day that really it felt like, in a way there were bloopers all the time. But we were very focused on the work, and Gordon Hunt, our director, was great at reeling us in. He would let us have our fun and bond as a group, and then he would sort of pull us back in and get us ready to do another couple of takes.
Now, at any point, were you ever just sort of stuck in the booth, or was it all motion capture?
Oh, no, definitely in towards the sort of more post-production end, we spend a lot of time in the booth. We filmed basically what was the equivalent to a feature film. We did 90 minutes worth of scenes, cut scenes. But then for the rest of the amount of hours that a player can play the game, we're basically sitting in the booth having to record things for all those, eventualities. So the one thing that they did do that was unique was put us often in the booth, 2 people at a time, so that we could have more realistic and playful interaction. So I would sometimes be in with Emily, or I'd most of the time be in with Nolan. So that was a slightly different experience in the booth than one would usually have during a video game.
And now, did you think that any scene in particular kind of caught your attention, that it was more fun than the others?
I think for me, the scenes that are always more fun are about relationships rather than technical details. Exposition is always going to feel a little bit clunky as a performer having to deliver that stuff. But for me, the juice of the work is always to do with how the characters are interacting with one another and the effect that they're having on each other. So one scene in particular that was really fun to do was the scene where Chloe comes and visits Nathan in his crappy hotel room and crummy hotel room. Don't know if I can say the other word. And she basically, it's sort of a seduction scene, for want of a better word. And often they'll have very sort of fixed ideas about what they want or what they need in terms of choreography. And occasionally, if something was important to me, I would say, oh, can we do it this way? Or, here are some ideas. And in that scene, they had some room to allow us to come up with things on our own. And I did something with my hands up Nolan's chest with my fingers. I was sort of being playful with him, and Josh, he said to me, the lead animator, he said, it's going to be tough to do because the fingers we didn't have gloves with balls on the fingers, so he would have to hand animate what I was doing with my hand. But he said, just don't worry, just keep doing it, it's worth it, it's a really nice character moment. So it's when those guys were prepared to do things that would probably cost them countless extra hours in their office, in their booth, doing what they do. I mean, animation is such a slow process. And, as they did, avatars only used what they captured on camera as a guide. They then went in and hand animated all the faces. So, too, was the process on Uncharted 2. So they had the work cut out for them, and anything that we did additionally, it was, very, good-spirited of them to allow us to do those things. So that scene was certainly memorable in that regard.
Well, that is very cool. And before I forget, I would like to congratulate you because you were a part of a game that won the Video Game of the Year award at the Spike Video Game Awards.
That's right, and Dragon Age also got a great award that night. I was played Morrigan in that, and I'm also in Mass Effect 2, which just came out. So it was a big 12 months for me in games. It was a lot of fun to be part of these really successful games.